You know, if you thought the wizarding world was this one single straightforward story, well, you might want to think again. It really feels like we're stepping into the age of the Harry Potter multiverse, where familiar faces are popping up in brand new roles, and the story we all know and love is being retold in ways we never, ever expected. So let's dive into what this all means, because honestly, it's getting wonderfully complicated. Okay, let's do a quick memory check. Cast your mind back to Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1. Remember that grim, really determined face of Rufus Scrimgeour? He was the Minister of Magic who took over right when things were getting incredibly dark. That was played just brilliantly by the one and only Bill Nye. He brought this perfect sense of seriousness and, tired resolve to the role before his heroic end. You got that image in your head? Okay, good. Because, and here's the twist, Bill Nye is coming back to the world of Harry Potter, but not as the Minister of Magic. He has been completely recast, stepping into a totally different role, the eccentric, super well-connected, and, let's be honest, morally gray, potions master Horace Slughorn. Yeah, from the head of the ministry right back to the classroom. A familiar face is getting a brand new wizarding identity. So what is this new project that's kind of shuffling the deck of wizarding actors? You might be thinking it's for a new movie or that upcoming TV show, right? Nope. This casting is for a massive, and I mean colossal, new audiobook project from Audible, one that's set to completely reimagine how we listen to the Harry Potter stories. A lot of us probably grew up with those legendary narrations by Stephen Fry or Jim Dale, where one single voice just masterfully brought every single character to life. Well, these new full-cast audio editions are something else entirely. Think of it less like a narration and more like a blockbuster movie for your ears, a high-budget radio play. Every single character, from Harry himself to the tiniest, squeakiest ghost, is going to be voiced by a different and often very famous actor. It's an immersive audio experience that's designed to make you feel like you're right there in the middle of the action. And when I say famous actors, I am not kidding. The sheer star power that Audible has managed to pull together for this project it's genuinely staggering. They are pulling out all the stops to make this a landmark event in the franchise's history. It is a who's who of incredible talent. Okay, let's take a second to really look at this list. Hugh Laurie, yes, Dr. House himself, is taking on the calm, wise voice of Albus Dumbledore. The incredible Keira Knightley is stepping into the perfectly pink and perfectly evil shoes of Dolores Umbridge. Can you imagine? Matthew McFadyen, fresh off his incredible run in Succession, will be voicing the Dark Lord Voldemort. And we've also got the brilliant Riz Ahmed as the complicated Severus Snape, and James McAvoy bringing all of that intense energy to Mad-Eye Moody. The list just keeps going. The sheer ambition of this cast is on a whole different level. It's wild. So look, Bill Nye's recasting and this huge audiobook project, they aren't just happening in a vacuum. They're actually one piece of a much, much bigger puzzle. Right now, we are witnessing this massive expansion and reinterpretation of the original Harry Potter story across multiple platforms all at the very same time. This timeline really shows you the accelerating pace of it all. For a decade, from 2001 to 2011, those 8 films were the definitive adaptation. That was it. Then, in 2016, the story continued, but on stage with The Cursed Child. And now it's just exploding. We have these full-cast audiobooks coming, and just over the horizon, there's that massive TV series from HBO that's promising a more faithful book-by-book retelling. The story isn't just continuing anymore. It's being retold from the very beginning, in multiple formats, all at once. And this is where the lines between all these different versions start to get incredibly blurry. You have actors actually crossing over between adaptations. Tom Felton, our original Draco Malfoy, has played the character on stage in The Cursed Child. And the legendary Warwick Davis, who played both Professor Flitwick and Griffoak in the films, is confirmed to be coming back for the HBO series. It's creating this fascinating web where actors are becoming synonymous with the world itself, not just one specific role in one version. It really is a true multiverse of casting. So all of this activity, it naturally leads to a huge question, one that's really dividing the fandom. Are all these new versions a welcome opportunity to enrich and deepen the story we love so much? Or is it just a studio rehashing a guaranteed success for profit? Is it a creative retelling, or is it a cynical rehash? On one side of the argument, you have fans who have been waiting years for this. For so many people who love the books, the films, as incredible as they were a compromise. This quote, I think, captures that feeling perfectly. They miss subplots, like the full story of the Marauders or Hermione's SPEW campaign. They flatten characters, with tons of book fans arguing that Ron Weasley was just turned into comic relief, and Ginny Weasley's fiery, powerful personality was almost completely gone. For these fans, a new TV series or a full-cast audio reading is a chance to finally do the books justice, with all that detail and nuance left intact. But then, there's the other side of this. This next quote really sums up this skepticism. Why remake something that a lot of people already consider to be perfect? The Stephen Fry and Jim Dale audiobooks are masterpieces of narration. The original films were a global phenomenon that defined a whole generation. So from this perspective, creating new versions feels less about artistic need and more about commerce, a way to, as this person puts it, milk the cash cow by just repackaging the same content for a new audience. So this is really the fundamental divide, isn't it? On one hand, you have the argument for a fresh start, a chance to be more faithful to the source material, using new formats like a long-form TV series to explore every little corner of the books that the movies had to skip. And then you have the argument against it, this feeling that the originals are iconic, they're complete, and these new projects are just redundant, driven more by business than by any real creative need. And you know what? Both are really valid perspectives you'll find all throughout the fandom. And finally, we just can't talk about the future of Harry Potter without acknowledging the complicated and often very contentious conversation that surrounds the franchise's creator. It adds another really significant layer to every single new announcement and every casting decision that gets made. The public discourse around J.K. Rowling's views, especially on trans rights, has become an unavoidable part of the franchise's modern legacy. For a segment of the audience, it's just impossible to separate the art from the artist. And as a result, every new project, whether it's the HBO show or these audiobooks, is met with calls for boycotts and questions directed at the cast and crew who get involved. This ongoing controversy, it undeniably colors the reception and complicates the celebration of any new content coming out of the wizarding world. So we're left at this fascinating crossroads. We've got beloved actors taking on new roles, star-studded casts giving us new interpretations of classic characters, and multiple adaptations all promising to be the definitive version. But at the same time, we have these fan debates over necessity versus profit, and this complex legacy being shaped by its creator. So the final question really is for you. With all these new voices and new controversies shaping the franchise, what does the future of the wizarding world look like to you? Is it a magical renaissance? Or is it a complicated echo of the past?